guys, welcome to yet another edition of Enota Digital Media Storytime. I'm so excited that you're here with me yet again today. We're going to start things off with my favorite game. It's called Guess the Sound. Grab a sister, grab a brother, grab your mother, grab your father. See if you can guess what this sound is. Here we go on 3. By the way, say it out loud if you think you know what it is. 1, 2, 3. Listen. Whoa. Not too hard this week, is it? All right, say out loud what you think it is on 3. Well, I'll give you 3 seconds wait time. All right, let's go. It is, let's see, a wolf. Super easy. And I wanted it to be easy because today I wanted to dive right into the first superhero story of all time. That's right, guys. It is a story called The Chinese Brothers. That's right. It's one of the first superhero stories that we have a record of. It is hundreds of years old, and these brothers are guys who use superpowers in their quests and adventures. So, I want you to crisscross, see if you can listen up, and check out this awesome story. Here we go. Now, I'll give you a little intro real quick. 10 Brothers is a Chinese legend known to be written around the time of the Ming Dynasty, which doesn't help that much since it lasted over 200 years. But still, it was that old, so it's hundreds of years old. It's been told and spun off in various adaptations and remains popular since it's one of the oldest Chinese legends to feature characters in a superhero fashion. Well, the modern version of the story has a childless woman swallow 10 pearls, and she gives birth to 10 brothers, and each one has a superpower. At the end, the brothers battle some form of a bad guy. It changes with each kind of story. And they only win when they work with all their powers combined, right? Kind of like Captain America. You guys remember him? However, if the 10 brothers come in touch with limestone, their power disappears and they become helpless. Don't want to do that. Now, the number of brothers varies among the different Chinese ethnic groups, but the story is usually found all across China. The Li people have 10 brothers. The Yi people have 9 brothers. The Zhuang people have 8 brothers. The Han people have 5 brothers. Now, the original 10 powers, the first and oldest brother, he's capable of seeing miles away with his binocular-like eyes. The second brother can hear miles away. The third brother has super strength. The fourth brother has the ability to stretch. Have we seen all these things in modern comic books? And he's invincible. The fifth brother is capable of flying. The sixth has a solid head and is very smart. The seventh can grow in height. The eighth is capable of tunneling underground. That'd be useful, right? The ninth brother has a huge mouth that can blow wind and shout loudly. And the 10th and youngest brother can cry a river, heal any illness at all if he cries on people. So, wow. If only my son could do that, because he cries all the time, the terrible twos. Now I want you to look at these 10 powers, and I want you to pick which one you would want to be. Would you want to be able to see miles away, or maybe cry on people and heal them, or maybe you'd like to be super strong? So go ahead and pick out your strength you would want. You just say it out loud. All right, let's keep going. Now, it's been adapted a lot. The story's been adapted many times in movies and TV series, most notably in China and Hong Kong. And it's also been adapted in American children's books. There's the one by Margaret Mahy. There's a Soviet cartoon with the Chinese brothers. 10 Brothers is a Hong Kong film. Many films. I'm not going to list them all. But maybe you can find one on Netflix every now and then that you could look up 10 Brothers and see if it's there, if it's okay with your parents. This one looks nice. Look at that. That talking fish. Whoa. It's kind of funny looking. So, now, if you had a superpower of your own, what would your superpower be? I really want you to think about it. What would you use this superpower to do? And can you think of a superpower that would do the most good? Now, I asked you to do it. I want you to think about this. And just tell, if you're there with someone, tell your friend or your parent what you would like it to be. But I'm going to do mine. If I could have a superpower of my own, I think I would like to fly. Because you could fly anywhere for free, and you could see the entire world. And you, if anything, if you're ever in danger, you could just fly away. So I think flying would be a really good one. And I would use this power to get free travel across the world. That's what I would do. And I think it would do a lot of good. I would also do it like if someone was stuck in a tree at the top of a building, I could use my superpower to save people. And I would definitely do that. And like even cats and stuff that were stuck in trees, I would do that too. So I could probably get on YouTube and make a little advertising money with my flying ability. So what would yours be? Super strength, X-ray vision, anything at all? All answers are okay. Well, guys, today I'm going to read you The 7 Chinese Brothers by Margaret Mayhe. This one was illustrated by Jean and Mrs. Singh there. So, here we go. All right, as you can see, this one says there's 7 brothers instead of 5 or 10. So, here we go. Once upon a time, when Qin Shi Huang was emperor of all China, 7 remarkable brothers lived together on a beautiful hillside. They walked alike, they talked alike, they even looked so much alike that it was hard to tell one brother from the brother next to him. All the same, each brother had something special about him. Each brother had one amazing power that was all his own. First brother's amazing ears could hear a fly sneeze from 100 miles away, while second brother's amazing eyes could look right across hundreds of miles and see the fly sitting on the Great Wall of China, sneezing and feeling very sorry for itself. Third brother was a man of unusual strength. He could walk across China in a straight line, lifting up any mountains that got in his way and putting them carefully back down behind him. And fourth brother was strong, too, for he had bones of iron that could not be broken. Fifth brother had legs that could grow as tall and as thick as tree trunks, while sixth brother never, ever became too hot, no matter how hard he worked under the summer sun. As for seventh brother, he was the baby of the family, and all 6 older brothers tried to keep him smiling and happy, for he was their youngest brother. And when he was unhappy, he wept great, big, warm, salt tears, and each tear was large enough to drown an entire valley. Big old tears. The 7 brothers lived very happily together, and 7 brothers never once had anything to cry about. But one day, as they worked on their hillside, first brother lifted his head, with his amazing ears on either side of it, and said, "I can hear such a moaning and a groaning 100 miles away by the Great Wall of China. Second brother, take a look and tell me what the trouble's about." Second brother turned his far-seeing eyes towards the Great Wall. "Ah!" he cried, "there's an enormous hole in the Great Wall of China. I see 100 men working day and night and day. They look so tired and weak. Perhaps they are not allowed to sleep or eat until the hole in the Great Wall of China is repaired." That's a lot of work to do. I can't believe it," cried the 7th brother, who was always hungry himself. He looked as if he might begin to cry in sympathy with the poor, hard-working men. "Don't cry," said the 3rd brother quickly. "I'll go and help them." On he went as quickly as he could, and he got there in half a minute, less than no time at all. He set to work at once, tossing great stones from one hand to the other as if they were feathers, and by the time darkness came on, the hole was completely filled. Then the 3rd brother lay down to take a nap. He fixed it. But when the emperor heard that one man had repaired the hole in one afternoon, he was not at all grateful. No, sir. Indeed, he looked very worried. "A man as powerful as that is more trouble than he's worth," thought the emperor to himself. "Strong men can be very useful to an emperor, but this one is too strong. One army may not be enough to catch him. I had better send 2. When 3rd brother woke up from his nap, he found himself surrounded by 2 armies. "By the command of the celestial emperor, whose face is more dazzling than the rising sun, you are to be executed in the morning," proclaimed the generals of the 2 armies. "Take the prisoner to the palace of the emperor," they ordered. And when he heard this, 3rd brother burst into tears. 100 miles away, on the beautiful hillside, 1st brother, the one with the good hearing, heard 3rd brother crying. "Third brother must be in trouble," he exclaimed. Second brother looked far into the distance. "Ah! 3rd brother's been taken to the palace. He's surrounded by 2 armies. They're going to execute him in the morning. No wonder he is crying." "Don't worry," cried 4th brother, who saw that 7th brother was about to cry too. "I will change places with him. The celestial emperor, whose face is more dazzling than the rising sun, can try to hurt me as many times as he likes. Perhaps that will make him feel better." Off he went as quickly as he could, and he got there in half a minute, less than no time. He sneaked in between the two armies to third brother, who was wide awake and waiting for him. So third brother went home, and fourth brother laid down to take his place. Fourth brother switching seats with him. There we go. Look at that. Now, what happened is they tried to execute him. They tried to hurt fourth brother. Remember, his bones and skin is unbreakable. He can't be hurt. So each sword that hit him only broke. And the guys can't believe it. What? All the next day, the officers of the two armies tried over and over again to hurt fourth brother. But sword after sword bit and broke on his bones of iron. In the end, they were forced to confess to the mighty emperor, whose whisper was like the rumble of thunder, that they simply could not behead their prisoner. "A man with bones of iron!" roared the mighty emperor. "You're going to have to throw him in the sea tomorrow." When fourth brother heard that he was to be drowned, he was very upset. "Bones of iron won't bend or buckle or break, but they will sink," he thought to himself, and he burst into tears. 100 miles away, on the beautiful hillside, first brother heard fourth brother begin to cry. "Fourth brother is crying," he said. Second brother looked into the distance. "Ah! Tomorrow morning they're going to drown fourth brother. No wonder he's crying." "Don't worry," fifth brother interrupted. "I will change places with him. The mighty emperor, whose whisper is like the rumble of thunder, can try to drown me as many times as he likes. Perhaps that might make him feel better." On he went as quickly as he could, and he got there in half a minute, less than no time. He tiptoed past the guards to fourth brother, who was awake and waiting for him. Swiftly, they switched places, and fourth brother went home. All the next day, the soldiers of the two armies tried to drown fifth brother. They threw him into the deep sea, but his legs grew so quickly, the water only came up to his knees. So they threw him in, he grew up. There they are switching places. And he made his legs super long, like Stretch Armstrong, so he could just stand in the water. They tried throwing him into the deeper water, but the deep water only just reached as far as his waist. No one could believe it. Finally, they threw him into the deepest part of the sea, but even the deepest part of the sea only came up to his neck. Waves broke under his chin. "Ah!" said the fifth brother, smiling happily. "How lovely and cool is the deepest sea water of all." "He is more dangerous than I ever imagined," muttered the splendid emperor, whose merest glance was like a flash of lightning. "He won't drown, but he might burn. Into the fire with him tomorrow morning," he commanded. And was told his fate. Fifth brother burst into tears. Far away on the beautiful hillside, first brother heard fifth brother's cries. Second brother looked right across 100 miles to the Great Wall of China. "Ah!" he cried. "Tomorrow morning they're going to burn fifth brother. No wonder he's crying." "Don't worry," said sixth brother, afraid that the seventh brother might begin to cry too. "I will take his place. The splendid emperor, whose merest glance is like a flash of lightning, can bake me all day long if he likes," he said with a shiver. "Perhaps that will make him feel better." Off he went as quickly as he could, and he got there in half a minute, less than no time. He tiptoed in between the two armies and found fifth brother, who was awake and waiting for him. So fifth brother went home, and sixth brother took his place. Oh my goodness, look, they're getting the fire ready for him. OMG. The next day, the two armies ran backwards and forwards, bringing kindling wood, brushwood, and driftwood, and bundles of dried grass. They built such a big fire that the smoke from it drifted from one end of China to the other. But sixth brother never even felt hot. Baking in the heat of the blaze, he sighed with happiness. "Ah! Feels good! How kind of the noble emperor to warm me up with his very own fire!" he cried. "Ah!" said the emperor. He couldn't believe it. The noble emperor, whose slightest frown made the land shake like an earthquake, was furious. "Send for the royal archers," he ordered. "In the morning we will shoot the man full of arrows." Sixth brother burst into tears. Over on the beautiful hillside, first brother heard sixth brothers crying. "Second brother," he asked, "what do you see?" "Ah!" cried second brother. "Tomorrow morning they're going to shoot sixth brother full of arrows." The brothers looked at each other. "There's nothing for it," said first brother. "We cannot leave sixth brother to die alone. We will all go to the noble emperor, whose slightest frown makes the land shake like an earthquake. He can shoot arrows through all of us. At least we will be together." The brothers started their journey to the palace, but poor seventh brother was so upset that he couldn't help crying just a little. His first tear was as big as the longest river in China. It rolled into a single drop. His second tear was as big as the second longest river. Both tears were as salty as the sea. A great ocean of warm salt water swept down the road ahead of the brothers. It swept on for 100 miles. And seventh brother's first tear swept one army north, and his second tear swept the other army south. So the tears are pushing these armies away. He's saving his brothers. Look at them. They got pushed. And look, the emperor got pushed on the water of his tears too. OMG. Can you believe that? As for the emperor, he was tossed so high and so far that he is still trying to return to his palace. Seventh brother's flood of tears swept over the Great Wall of China, flowed all the way out to the Yellow Sea, and all the way back again in half a minute, less than no time. Sixth brother was free. He made it free. He hurried back up the road while his six wonderful brothers hurried down the road, and they were reunited at the Great Wall itself. "Fish!" cried fifth brother. The waves had washed hundreds of glistening fishes to shore. There they were, flipping and flapping, piled all the way up to his knees. "Wood!" cried third brother, gathering a forest to start a fire. Fourth brother snapped his iron fingers and his iron thumb. A spark leapt out and set the fire blazing and crackling. "Fire!" he cried, laughing. "Oh, I'm so hungry," said seventh brother. "Now that we're all together again, we can have dinner and forget our troubles. I promise never to cry again, unless I absolutely have to." So the seven brothers sat themselves down around the warm fire and feasted on delicious fried fish, for after such a worrying week, they were all very, very hungry. And guys, if you can believe it, that is the end of that story. I hope you enjoyed hearing that story today. And thank you so much for paying attention. We're all out of time. Those are the first superheroes, and we know who they are now. Pretty cool story.